You picked up the Tesseract, breaking reality. I want you to help us fix it.
So there's this line that Loki has where he says, I'm Loki and I'm burdened with glorious purpose. And one of the questions that we're sort of tackling in this show is, what is that purpose? And like, why does he think he deserves to be the number one, you know? What do you think, like, how do you think that this show is going to shake that in him? And how do you know, why does he think that he deserves all of this? And what will he realize?
I suppose if I go back to the first Thor movie, and so much of the journey of my experience with the character really begins there. As children, Odin told Thor and Loki, I think only one of you can ascend to the throne, but you were both born to be kings. So there's this sense that Loki's grown up with a sense of an entitlement to a birthright. And it gets distorted in the Avengers movie into this line he says to Nick Fury when he arrives, I am burdened with glorious purpose. And it's a kind of, I suppose it's a motto, it's a motivation, it's a sense of determination, self-determination. And it's a way perhaps that Loki gives meaning to his existence. And when he's confronted with the TVA, or by the TVA rather, this institution that governs the order of time, it calls into question the narrative of meaning that Loki has constructed for himself, that he thought his life meant a particular thing, and perhaps that meaning has been revealed to be fraudulent or ineffective or insufficient in some way. Does that make sense? I'm trying not to spoil anything.
Yeah, and the TVA is also really kind of a way to take him out of that scenario. Absolutely. Where it's like he's not just like fight the Avengers, stew, you know, like he steps out of his situation.
Yeah.
Like how did you sort of wrap your head around that, as like how he would be processing that, or, you know?
Well, I think it's for anyone, I think if you believe if any human being believes they have agency in their lives, they're making active choices. And if somebody turned around and said, actually, these aren't choices, you're just rolling along predetermined tracks of a reality that is supposed to happen and has been chosen not by you, but by somebody else, it would be a bit of a head scratcher. You know? So I think that there is a question mark in the series about the nature of free will and self-determination, or agency, or self-awareness, or choice, and the nature of any, you know, we all perceive reality in the way that only we perceive it, each of us. And I think it raises the question of, like, what is reality? Are there different ways of looking at reality? And does that, if your perception changes, then your awareness changes, then perhaps your choices change. Again, I've got slightly into theoretical questions here, but they are baked into the series somewhere. But an exciting thing is that Loki is someone who was very much in control, or believed he was all his life, was driven towards what he conceived of as this glorious purpose, is what become a kind of a famous quotation for the character. And his experiences in the TVA call that purpose into question. And then in that vacuum, what does he do? And hopefully the show answers those questions.
I'm 10 steps ahead of you.
You're not big on trust, are you?
You can trust me. Loki, I've studied almost every moment of your entire life. You've literally stabbed people in the back like 50 times.